Breakout the Red Week continues here at the Big A. The skater caps given out tonight. It's the rubber game of the series between your Angels and the American League Central Minnesota Twins. Hi, everybody, from inside the Big A. We welcome you back to Angels Baseball here on Fox Sports West. I'm Victor Rojas, along with my partner, Mark Gubza. Last night, it did not go very well for the Angels, thus setting up this rubber match of the series. And if you're going to have a rubber match of the series, might as well have two very good pitchers on the mound. Francisco Liriano going for the Twins, and Dan Haren going for the Halos.
Yeah, Victor, it doesn't happen too often where a guy throws a no-hitter early in the season, facing a guy who threw a one-hit shutout early in the season. Dan Haren has been outstanding, coming off that tremendous effort against the Tigers. He went complete game, fielded his position very well, threw a lot of strikes, got a lot of ground ball outs, enabled them to be able to go out and at least even up that series at that point. Liriano's a guy, though, who has no-hit stuff. Very good slider. Early on was compared to Santana, Johan Santana, as far as the slider fastball. Again, gets in some trouble on occasion with the fastball out of the strike zone. So look for them to be patient against him, bring him up in the zone, and have some success against Liriano because he can be unhittable at times.
Well, and you mentioned that the struggles that he's had. You see that by the ERA at 4.67. We're just about ready for baseball here at the Big A. See if the Angels offense can get it going once again. So sit back and relax. We'll have lineups and first pitch when we return.
See what they're saying at MySoCalHyundai.com. And by CarMax. Now more than ever, the smart choice is CarMax. Well, a gorgeous night for baseball here at the Big A. Fans still flocking in to get those skater hats that Gooby was wearing so proudly today.
You blame me?
No, it's a good look. And as long as you wear the black tube socks in New York with the hat next week, that'll settle our deal. All right?
That's a lock.
Take a look at the lineup that Ron Gardenhire is running out there this evening for the Minnesota Twins. They are 51-59 at the start of the day. 8 games back in the American League Central. Denard Span leading things off in center. Joe Mauer jumps up to the 2-hole. He'll be playing first base. Michael Kadire, who's been playing first base, moves over to second. He'll bat 30. Had a big game last night. Jason Kubel is the cleanup hitter in right field. Jim Thome, the DH. Danny Valencia at third base. Delman Young, a couple of home runs last night himself. He's in left. Tsuyoshi Nishioka is the shortstop. He'll bat eighth. And Drew Butera is doing catching, and he will bat ninth. Facing Dan Herron, looking for his 12th win of the season. An 11-6 mark and a 2.89 ERA.
Well, he's been so outstanding this entire season, but in particular his last 2 games, going out and attacking the hitters with the fastball, establishing that early on in the game, and of course finishing off with his great assortment of secondary pitches.
Dan Herron coming off that terrific start against the Tigers. 14th career complete game, his second straight against Detroit. Giving up a run on 6 hits. Only 1 strikeout, 1 walk in that game. That first pitch is up and away for ball 1.
When you look at his walks to strikeout ratio, he's just outstanding, leading the American League in that category.
1-0 pitch, a swing and a miss. And it's 1 ball, 1 strike on Denard Span, fresh off the disabled list. Playing in his 3rd game back. Went 1 for 5 last night. He's 1 for 8 in the series. Hitting .289 with a couple of home runs, 15 runs batted in. This one bounced foul. And Herron ahead of the count at 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here comes the 1-2 offering from Herron. That pitch is down low. 2 balls, 2 strikes as we take a look at tonight's umpiring crew. Got Ed Rapuano calling the balls and strikes. Brian Honora is at first base. Alfonso Marquez at second. And Ed Hickox is over at third. Herron's 2-2 pitch. Got him looking on the inside corner. There's out number 1. Defensively behind Dan Herron tonight, you've got Vernon Wells in left, Peter Borges in center, Torrey Hunter is in right. In the infield, it's Alberto Callaspo and Eric Ibar on the left side. Howie Kendrick back in the lineup, and Mark Trumbo on the right side. Jeff Mathis behind the dish.
Vernon Wells out in the left field. Should be pretty active with Dan Herron on the hill. A number of left-handed batters, throws that split-finger fastball away, so a lot of baseballs will be hit off the end of the bat, so it should be very active in left field as far as coming in on fly balls.
There's Joe Mauer, the first baseman for Minnesota. Normally the everyday catcher. He's getting the opportunity on occasion to play some first base. Hitting .294 with a home run and 20 runs batted in. He had a 1-for-4 game, including an RBI last night. The Twins racking up 11 runs on 15 hits. And the long ball was prevalent last night. Michael Kadire with a couple of home runs. He's on deck. Delman Young with a couple of home runs. Jason Kubel got into the act. And not the norm for Angels pitching. This one grounded to the right side. Howie Kendrick has it. 2 outs, and I say that because of the fact Angels pitchers had allowed the fewest home runs in the American League, and all of a sudden 5 last night.
Yeah, it definitely was unusual for the club, especially because there's not a lot of pitches they throw in the middle part of the plate. They have good secondary pitches. They work the corners very well. Yesterday, that was not the case. A lot of pitches over middle part of the plate, and Twins hitters made them pay for it.
Here's Michael Kadire. 2 for 5 with those 2 home runs and 5 runs batted in as the pitch is down low. We'll quickly take a look at our Hyundai key to the game.
My kind of party. When you look at this pitching matchup with a guy that threw a no-hitter early in the season versus a guy that's throwing a 1-hitter, this is the type of game you look forward to. 2 very good pitchers. A little Jason Aldean for you there, Victor.
I like that.
Yes.
Country fan.
Yep. I figured you were.
Oh, yeah. Kadire with a 1 ball, 1 strike count. showing his versatility as he always has as a member of the Twins organization, playing some second base. He's played third, he's played the outfield, first base. He's got a 9-game hitting streak with that 2-for-5 performance last night. And a free agent to be. This one popped up on the right side. Mathis and Trumbo in front of the dugout. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Dan Hare. We have at the bottom of the first, Meister Sturridge, Alberto Callaspo, and Torrey Hunter to face Francisco Liriano with no score. Mixing it up yet again as the Angels are 9 games over 500, 60-51, needing a victory tonight to remain a game back. Texas defeated Detroit earlier today. Meister Sturridge leading things off. Alberto Callaspo jumps up to the 2-hole. Torrey Hunter's in right field. Vernon Wells, the cleanup hitter. Howie Kendrick in second base. Mark Trumbo at first. Eric Ibar, the shortstop. Peter Borges in center. Jeff Mathis batting ninth, doing the catching, taking on the 27-year-old from San Cristobal in the Dominican Republic by the name of Francisco Liriano.
And Liriano, the guy that I mentioned in the pregame there, the fact is a lot of comparison between him and Johan Santana when they were teammates coming up with Minnesota. Obviously had that elbow surgery, but a guy that can rush the fastball up there between 89 and 93. Very good slider when he stays on top, and an above average changeup also.
This will be his third start against the Angels in his career. A 1-1 record of 5.11 ERA. Facing Meister Sturridge, falling behind here, 2 balls and a strike. Meister went 0 for 3 yesterday. He's average at 270 now. This one grounded toward the middle. Nishioka to his left has it. Little sidearm flip to first, and there's the first down at the bottom of the first inning. We'll take a look at the Twins defensively. It's Young, Span, and Kubel from left to right. In the infield, Valencia, Nishioka, Kadire, and Maurer, and then Butera doing the catches.
Michael Kadire playing second base, only has committed 1 error in that position. You're not your prototypical second baseman, but he does have a very strong arm, very good as far as turning a double play because of that arm strength that he has.
Here's Alberto Callaspo with 1 out, nobody on. First time this year that Callaspo's batted in the 2 spot. Behind in the count at 0-1. At a 1 for 3 game yesterday with an RBI. Hitting .292, 3 home runs, 34 runs batted in. He's got 17 doubles on the year. Liriano does not waste a whole lot of time. He's behind in the count at 2-1. As you pointed out when we started the show, the fact that there was a lot of comparisons with Francisco Liriano to that of Johan Santana, and at that time still within the Twins organization. Very similar type of pitcher, same build, almost the same type of delivery, same type of stuff, and you could see why the Twins were very excited to get him as part of that big A.J. Brzezinski deal many moons ago from the San Francisco Giants.
Just like Johan, they were always concerned about his health of his elbow is because of that maximum effort, especially on the slider, and Santana was eventually moved to the New York Mets, and Liriano ended up having surgery. So it's all about that full max effort. They want him to utilize the changeup more. pitch to contact as quick as possible. That way he can go longer in the ball games and not have to use that strikeout pitch as much as he did early in his career.
Liriano making his 20th start of the season. 2-2, and Callaspo pulls one down the line, and that is a foul ball. Not by much. But Ed Hickox right on that foul line, making the call immediately. So Alberto gets back into the batter's box with a 2-2 count.
Real good vantage point for Ed Hickox down the line. He's looking right at it, making sure that ball is foul. He did a solid job behind the plate last night also. Again, it's all getting yourself in that position to be able to keep your eye right on the line to see if it's going to be fair or foul or possibly land right on the line.
And he got him with the off-speed pitch. 2 outs, first strikeout for Liriano.
And that was the pitch they want him to use more. That changeup, very good as far as selling the arm motion. Circle changeup, runs away from a right-handed batter. He'll turn that pitch over. As a hitter, you see a fastball, it's going to be middle of the plate, but then it's a changeup and it goes off the outside corner, almost screwball type action on the pitch.
So with 2 outs and nobody on, here's Torrey Hunter. Had a 2-for-4 game last night. A couple of runs batted in, hitting .235, 14 home runs, and 54 runs batted in. Liriano falls behind at 2 balls and no strikes. Left-hander coming off a victory against the Oakland Athletics at the Coliseum, allowing 2 runs on 6 hits, 7 innings his last time out. Torrey lining one towards short and under the glove of Nishioka and into left field. It's a 2-out base hit. Ball had a lot of topspin on it. Going to be a tough play for Nishioka, even if he comes up with it, but a nice effort by the Twins shortstop. The Angels get their first base runner.
And Torrey, after 2 hits last night, comes up first time at bat. It's a fastball, middle part of the plate, and does have that top hand swing and gets it through the infield for a base hit. I don't think he's going to have a play on it anyhow if he's able to come up with that baseball. Nishioka did a nice job as far as trying to make the play. But Torrey, another base hit.
Keeps the inning alive for Vernon Wells. Vernon looks at a fastball down the pipe for a strike. Vernon went 0 for 4. Originally had a hit, but it was taken away as Danny Valencia was charged with an error, his 14th of the year. So Vernon ending up with that 0 for 4 as he swings and fouls. Nope, didn't foul it off, at least based on the reaction by Butera. Snowballs 2 strikes, off speed pitch. Vernon hitting .214, 16 home runs and 41 driven home.
Definitely his out pitch against right-handed batters. Definitely a plus pitch for him, that changeup.
Little chopper toward third. Valencia has it. Off balance throw, and that will end the inning. No runs, a hit, and the Angels leave a man on. 1 complete here at the Big A. We have no score. where you can get your PCM on. Text Mojo to 99000 to win a large PCM. And by your Southern California Toyota dealers. Top of the second with no score. There's the skater hats that were given away today. Just looking next door to the broadcast booth of the Minnesota Twins, Burt Blyleven, the Hall of Famer himself, asking for one of those skater hats. You going to give him yours?
Well, he is a Hall of Famer. But he said, he mentioned the pregame show. No, I'm not. He says he gets a lot of gifts already, so no, he doesn't get any more.
I know, right?
Yeah, he said he needs a bigger house to, take all those gifts he's been getting since he's been so-called Hall of Famer now.
Oh, yeah. There's Burt hanging out in the Twins booth.
I'm going to circle Burt just for fun.
Circle him.
Yes,
that's his thing.
He's all circled up now.
Kubel pulling one into right field. Torrey going back, and he'll make the catch on the run. That ball had some topspin on it. And there's the first out of the second.
See if we can circle Burt right here. Look at him, waving and everything. He said, let's see.
When those guys come into town, that's all we do, just kind of mess around with them. And Gooby's just giving them one of the skater hats.
See, that's a good look there.
He is a team player. He's told me he swings through that. Burt, the Hall of Famer, wearing the skater cap. He said on the pregame show, he grew up an Angel fan. He roots for the Angels, wants them to win the division, move on.
It is a great look for him.
Plaid is somewhat slimming, isn't it?
Yes.
Especially in the cranium. 1-1 pitch. Tell me he swings through it. It's 1-2. Jim Thome had the night off last night. Played the first game of the series. They're going 1 for 4 with an RBI. That pitch just missed in off the plate.
Jim Thome, a lot of success against Dan Hare in his career. .462 average, including 2 home runs against him. And he is susceptible to fastballs up and in.
That's a fastball that gets him. That two-seam fastball that runs back across the plate. 2 out, second punch out for Herron.
The big thing is make him aware of that fastball and starts it off the plate inside and then runs back and catches the corner. Thome's got great power to left center field. Has always been the guy that likes the ball down or out over the plate. You can get in on his hands if you get in there with authority with that fastball.
Danny Valencia takes the breaking pitch down and away. Valencia had a 2 for 5 game last night, including an RBI. .244 average, 12 home runs and 57 runs batted in. That's 2 balls and no strikes. There's that pitch that Valencia is susceptible to. A little breaking pitch or off-speed pitch. Middle half away from him. Especially for a guy that stands so far off the plate.
Well, Dan Herron is so good as far as in a fastball count, able to throw the slider or a cut fastball and get the hitter to swing at it.
Now it backed up on him. You see just by the way Mathis caught that ball, had so much movement, still caught the strike zone. It's 2-2.
Well, great movement, not necessarily velocity on that pitch, but very good movement.
Bounced up the line. That's a fair ball. Alberto Cayaspit. Cayaspit will throw out Valencia with a 1-2-3 inning for Dan Herron. We hit the bottom of the second. Scoreless. A loss would put the Angels 2 back. A victory would keep them 1 back. Of Texas, Howie Kendrick, Mark Trumbo, Eric Ibar against Francisco Liriano. Howie had the night off last night, hitting .299 overall. Fouls this one off to the right. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. 8 home runs for Howie, 36 runs batted in. Batting in the 5th spot in the order. Mentioned the change in the lineup with Callaspo jumping up. No Bobby Abreu. He's been really struggling of late. And it's 2 balls and 1 strike. And I know it's only been Howie being the 5th batter here, but it seems like everything Liriano has thrown has been middle away, whether it's fastball or that straight changeup against right-handed hitters. He comes inside right on cue.
I think, yeah, but most times I was just for show inside. He's going to throw, the only pitch he's going to throw inside to a right-handed batter is a slider down and in. He's going to try to throw fastballs away, back it up with a changeup away also.
Full count now on Kendrick. Three-two on its way, and Howie lines one right back up the middle. Little chuck and duck action. Leadoff man is on board. Howie's had great numbers throughout his career against the Minnesota Twins. And picks up a leadoff knock here to start the second.
Well, if you look back on the history of the Minnesota Twins, this is the type of approach they had as hitters to be successful, going right back up the middle. Liriano releases that baseball. Howie's looking away, goes right back up the middle with that fastball. Liriano gets out of the way. Smart decision.
Howie has the highest batting average of any active player in his career against the Minnesota Twins, .379. Prior to that, AB, Mark Teixeira right behind him at .368. Dustin Pedroia at .357. Here's Mark Trumbo. Nobody out, a man at first. Trumbo went 0 for 4 last night, hitting .252 on the year, 20 home runs, 58 runs batted in. Takes the off-speed pitch down low for ball 1.
Liriano with 3 pickoffs this season. He's allowed 9 stolen bases in 14 attempts. Pretty quick to the plate, but it's his move to first base that keeps the base runner close. More likely you're going to see more hit and runs put on than straight steals.
Howie Kendrick does have 11 stolen bases this year. He's been caught 3 times. That is, in case you were wondering. Trumbo takes that pitch outside. It's 2-0. Butera behind the plate. It's now 12 of 39 would be base stealers. Liriano falls behind at 3-0.
You got to believe Mark Trumbo will get the green light here if he can center in on a fastball. Liriano's pretty good splits as far as lefties versus righties. 228 versus lefties, 239 versus righties, but 9 home runs allowed versus right-handed batters as compared to only 1 versus a left-handed batter.
Throw to first, Howie back. Kendrick over at first base with a leadoff single, second hit of the night against Liriano. 3-0, bounced up the middle, right to Michael Cuddyer, and the throw gets away from Mauer. Not a very good throw by Michael Cuddyer. He had all day. And instead of a double play, it just goes as a fielder's choice, and 1 out.
Two guys playing out of their normal position. Cuddyer trying to turn, make the throw. Mauer trying to catch the ball when it was off the base and apply the tag before looking the baseball into his glove. Trying to say his foot goes off the base. And a lot of times when you're not familiar with first base, you start the stretch before the baseball is thrown. Most times a good first baseman will wait till the ball's thrown and then you stretch out to catch the baseball.
This is the 9th game that Bauer has played at first base. So 1 out, 1 on for Erick Aybar. 2 for 4 game last night. Swinging through that first pitch, and it's no balls and a strike. Speaking of Erick Aybar, come out to the Metro PCS store, 205 East Orangethorpe Avenue in Fullerton, Saturday from 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. and meet Angels shortstop Erick Aybar. For questions, call Metro PCS store at 714-730-2866. 0-1 pitch. Down in the dirt, gets away, and Trumbo's going to advance on the wild pitch. First time tonight, the Angels have a man in scoring position.
Good opportunity for the Angels instead of being Aybar up with 2 outs and nobody on. Now he's up here in a situation with 1 out, and Trumbo now in scoring position as that pitch was thrown into dirt.
Erick Aybar really has struggled against left-handed pitching this year. Just a .218 average in 119 at-bats. A couple of home runs, 13 runs batted in. The damage has come from the left side of the plate with a .313 average from that side. Lays off that fastball. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. And again, the velocity is there for Liriano. Location has been somewhat suspect, and that has been the knock on him as he came into today's game with 88 strikeouts, 57 walks. Could tack on 1 more in the strikeout column of the punch out of Callaspo in the first, so 89 strikeouts. And typically you want that to be in the 2-1 mark. Aybar takes that pitch just off the plate, 3-1. And when you're erratic with your location, you typically won't get that pitch, a borderline pitch. It could go either way for a home plate umpire.
Yeah, when an umpire, they see who's going to be pitching that particular night. If he knows a guy's going to be around the strike zone, you're going to get a lot of borderline calls throughout the course of a game. Great 3-1 changeup. Aybar guessing along with a fastball. Again, you can make that adjustment, think away. Because a changeup, fastball away, especially in this count, you're more apt to throw something on the outer part of the plate when you're behind in the count. You don't want to go inside. That's where you can run into problems.
Trumbo standing over at second base, advancing there on the wild pitch. And Aybar strikes out swinging, 2 outs. All set up by that 3-1 changeup.
Backed up with a slider down and in. That's the one pitch that Erick Aybar does swing at often when he's hitting from the right side. Down and in on the breaking ball. Done a much better job as far as either laying off that pitch or hitting it hard from the left side, but the right side he's had issues with.
So it's out to Peter Bourjos to bring home Mark Trumbo. With 2 outs here in the second. Bourjos looks at a strike. Peter last night 1 for 3. The 1 a home run, his 4th of the year. It kind of sparked that 4-run rally in the 3rd inning. The Angels taking a brief lead for Delmon Young tied up in the bottom of the 4th, or top of the 4th, I should say. A swing and a miss on the off-speed pitch, and it's 0-2. Here's the 0-2. Bourjos loops one out toward left center field. This one's got a chance to get down, and it does. Trumbo will come in to score an RBI single, perhaps even a double for Bourjos, which is probably how they will rule it. And it's 1-0 Angels.
Well, they were able to get a run out of that. It looked like it was going to be a double play ball that Trumbo hit into. Instead gets a second on the wild pitch and scores on this little flare by Peter Bourjos off the end of the bat. But making contact, putting the ball in play. We talked about the Minnesota Twins outfield playing very, very deep here, and that ball was able to fall in and drive in a run.
Yeah, we think it's going to be called a double. The ball landing and kind of skipping away from Denard Span.
Maybe think so. Number 19 on the season for Bourjos.
Jeff Mathis looks at a fastball for a strike.
Must have been that good cook-off today for
That's
him
right.
today. That was the key for him.
Yeah, well, not so much for him because he was the worst.
Did he get eliminated early on?
He didn't get eliminated. He was just voted the worst. Mathis punching one to the right side. Kadire a long run. He's got it. Borges does not stop running. The throw to the plate, not in time. 2-0 Angels.
That's pretty fast.
No doubt about it.
You don't need to cook when you run that fast. That was a great play by Kadire, really. He was able to cut that baseball off, realizing, knowing, because Minnesota plays the same type of baseball as the Angels, they're going to try to score there. He feels that, turns around and throws that towards the home plate area. But Mauer had fallen down, and then Liriano's basically your cutoff guy there, but just up the line enough where Borges is able to slide in. Dino Evil very aggressive, going to take that shot, especially with 2 outs. Borges with that speed scores the second run.
Yeah, Mathis with an infield single, picking up his 15th run batted in. 2 runs in for the Halos here in the second with 2 outs. Meiser Izturis 0 for 1. He grounded out to short at the bottom of the first inning.
Well, when you look up this inning, if you're Liriano, you're thinking, how did I give up 2 runs?
Yeah.
I mean, it should have been a double play ball, flare to the outfield, an infield base hit, and I look up, now I'm behind 2-0 with Dan Herron as my opponent on the other side.
The hardest hit ball was Howie Kendrick singled into center field on a 3-2 count leading off the inning. Looked like Butera got crossed up or didn't see the pitch, but caught it for ball 1. Trumbo swinging 3-0, hit a bouncer right to the bag at second base. Looked like a tailor-made double play. Kadire's throw pulling Mauer off the bag. Mark moving to second on the wild pitch, and after the Ibar strikeout, a little flared double and the infield base hit. Little cue shot foul, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Meiser, unlike Eric Ibar, has hit better from the right side than he has from the left side this year. 296 from the right side of the plate. 257 from the left. Fouls this one off to the right, and it's 1-2. Izturis grounding this one to short. Nishioka will go on to first base. The high throw, and Izturis is tagged out by Joe Mauer to end the inning. The Angels strike first. They get a couple of runs on 3 hits, and after 2, they lead at 2-0. Top of the third, the Angels with a 2-0 lead. Dan Herron will face the bottom third of the order here. Delmon Young, Tsuyoshi Nishioka, and Drew Butera. Delmon Young had a big game last night, 2 for 4, 2 home runs, 3 runs batted in. He doubled his home run output in last night's game. Now with 4 overall, the batting average of 265. First pitch, a breaking ball that is in there for a strike. Delmon Young, a guy who hit 298 last year for Minnesota, 21 home runs and 112 runs batted in. Takes the 0-1 pitch just off the plate to even the count.
That generally always has been a first ball fastball hitter. That's why you see Dan Haren first 2 pitches off speed, cut fastball slider.
Off the end of the bat, it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Delmon Young going to the Minnesota Twins a couple of years ago. At Matt Garza, Jason Bartlett deal. That if you're looking at it, certainly worked out very well for the Tampa Bay Rays. This one fouled back. And if Delmon gets back to what he did last year, ends up being a wash. Pretty talented player, still at a very young age.
You always wonder when is he going to put it all together. He has some speed. He's got power. A guy with a pretty good arm in the outfield.
This one lifted in the air to shallow right. Torres coming on. Calls off Howie. 1 out. And one of the most affordable ways to see the Angels play is with the JetBlue Friends and Family Pack. This deal includes 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, and 4 sodas for only $44. The next Friends and Family Pack game is Sunday against the Mariners. That's a 12:35 start. To purchase tickets, visit the Angel Stadium ticket office or log on to angels.com/funpack. Tsuyoshi Nishioka takes the breaking pitch inside for ball 1.
We saw that last night. Nishioka is a guy that likes to turn on pitches on the inner half.
Ended up going 1 for 4 last night. Takes a strike on the outside corner. Hitting just .209 in his first season in the big league, signing a 3-year deal in the offseason with the Twins. Off speed, just missed up. And it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Nishioka also missing time with a fractured left fibula between April 7th and June 14th this year. Double play situation.
And that was a pretty hard takeout on him at second base.
The Chiba Lotte Marines. Was that Bobby V's team? Is he the manager of the Marines? This ground to the right
familiar.
Side. Howie Kendrick with the bobble. And Nishioka is going to reach. Now he's going to get charged with an error there, his 4th of the year.
Now he's been playing an outstanding second base. Almost hit the heel of his glove. He's in position to make the play and look to turn around and spin and make the throw to the first, but unable to look it into the glove first.
First base runner for Minnesota, and it is Chiba, the team that Bobby V managed in Japan. There's Drew Butera. Takes a strike. Butera, the backup catcher for Minnesota, getting to start behind the plate with Mauer at first. The son of Sal Butera.
Another former catcher. Were you looking to see if I'm in his book?
I don't know. The way you reacted. This one's fouled back. You look like you were nodding your head as if to just tell me.
Yeah. No,
After a year and a half together, I can kind of read you a little bit. It looked like you were leaning back and said, yeah, he got me.
No. He may have got a hit or so, but never a big fly.
Not Sal?
That's all I care about.
Well, I just figured if Leo Gomez got you, that Sal perhaps may have gotten you.
Leo has a good pop the other way.
Allegedly. Haren fields this one. Ibar cuts in front, throws to first. They turn to double play. Little miscommunication there, but Ibar takes charge. We head to the bottom of the 3rd, and the Angels still on top. top 2-0. Nice double play started by Dan Herron. This one off the end of the bat by Butera, but miscommunication. Looked like Ibar wanted to take control the whole way.
Well, it's an easier play for a shortstop coming across the bases. Your momentum's going towards first bases compared to Howie. He's going to have to step on the base and go away a longer throw. Ibar with that strong arm be able to turn the 1-6-3 double play, avoiding the takeout at second.
Well, and just watching that replay too, it's a good thing that Ibar did take control of that situation there, because if Howie has it, looks like the only play he has is that force out at second, because his momentum in trying to avoid a collision and moving away was taking him toward the outfield side of the bag as opposed to coming across and being able to turn the double play.
And that's why, as a pitcher, before you deliver your pitch, you look back at your middle infielders, whether it's your shortstop or second base, you point to them. Who has that play? As a pitcher, you just throw the ball at second base. If they're not there, there's nothing you can do about it. You just throw it at the base. Somebody's supposed to be there in that position to be able to turn a double play. This time, it just happened to be both of them in that position to turn a double play. But the right guy caught it and turned it.
2-1 to Alberto Callaspo's in tight. 3 balls in his strike. The Angels setting up 2, 3, and 4 here in the third against Liriano. Callaspo strikeout victim in the first, so he's 0 for 1. 1 of 2 punch outs for the left-hander. No walks, 4 hits allowed. Alberto takes down low, and that's a leadoff walk. Second consecutive inning in which the Angels have had their leadoff man on. Brings up Torrey Hunter. Torrey had a base hit to left field with 2 outs in the first, so he's 1 for 1. One ball, no strikes. Butera going out to talk to Liriano, who of course back on May the 3rd at U.S. Cellular Field for the no-hitter against the White Sox. The first this year in Major League Baseball, the 6th ever by a Minnesota Twin. He had a 9.13 earned run average going into that game.
When that game threw 123 pitches. Other than that, he hasn't been really stretched out that much during the course of the season, trying to keep strong. But when he first came up with the Minnesota Twins, he had some of the best stuff you're going to see. And again, it's been a fight back as far as keeping that arm strong enough for him.
One to Torrey. Takes that pitch upstairs. 2 balls and a strike. Liriano in that game against the Sox had 2 strikeouts, 6 walks, becoming the second pitcher since 1900 with 4 more walks than strikeouts. You remember Pittsburgh's Cliff Chamber back in 1951?
Oh, yeah.
Throw to first, and Callaspo's back.
Effectively wild.
Yeah. Cool thing is that you got Liriano on the mound. You got Irvin Santana in the dugout. Both guys from San Cristobal in the Dominican Republic, the same town. Both throwing no-hitters this year. They got together for a little photo shoot yesterday before the game. Outside, 3 balls and 1 strike.
I think with the number of no-hitters again this season, I think you can make that point now that it's changed back around where what was it, late 60s, early 70s, it was pitcher-dominated leagues, and then all of a sudden the hitters changed that course. Now all of a sudden you're seeing a lot of good arms pitching and very effective. Number of close no-hitters along with the no-hitters so far this season.
Torrey takes a strike. He thought it was ball 4. Instead it's a full count. Mentioned it's the 6th no-hitter for the Twins. Jack Kralik, Dean Chance twice. Scott Erickson, Eric Milton, of course, Liriano this year. Dean Chance in the same year, by the way, 1967.
It's a pretty good year.
Yeah.
You assume Callaspo is going to be going here.
He doesn't go, and that pitch is down and in. So back-to-back walks issued by Liriano. 2 on and nobody out for Vernon Wells. And this is the shot that was taken before the game yesterday. That's a good thing Urban doesn't like to smile.
No.
But he looks like a miserable human being all the time.
He looks to be angry. And he backed up his no-hitter with a complete game effort.
Not bad. That's
pretty
good
hard
performance.
to do. That's pretty hard to do. Especially when you walk the first bat of the game. What was it, on 4 pitches?
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what he did. Vernon Wells takes upstairs. 1 ball, no strikes.
Well, Liriano's having a tough time finding the strike zone. His last 12 pitches, only 3 strikes. Rick Anderson's going to come out and try to get that release point back for him. And that's the big thing. And I was a teammate with Rick Anderson. He's the guy that stresses the fundamentals as far as repeating your mechanics and throwing a lot of strikes, particularly first pitch strike. Majority of his teams he's been the pitching coach with have been teams at the top as far as the least amount of walks allowed. But this season a little bit different. Haven't been as consistent as far as throwing strikes and avoiding the walks.
It's a long conversation, so long that Ed Rapuano has to go out there and break up the meeting. See Anderson, a longtime pitching coach of the Minnesota Twins. Alberto Callaspo standing at second. Torrey Hunter at first. A 1 ball, no strike count on Vernon Wells, who grounded out to Danny Valencia at third base to end the first inning. Both Callaspo and Hunter on board via the walk. And it's 2 balls and no strikes.
Boy, Denard Span is playing extremely deep in center field. See how far back he's playing.
Vernon pops this one up. First base side. Mauer giving chase near the railing. Runs out of room. And it's 2 balls and a strike.
When you look at the defense alignment for the outfielders for the Twins, pretty deep. Yes, the baseball has been carrying pretty well, but we've seen it during the course of this series so far. A lot of flares falling in front of the outfielders for the Twins.
Vernon, tired of waiting, backs out. He's got a 2 ball, 1 strike count, and the question is, if you're Liriano, do you go back to a straight changeup, unable to throw that fastball for a strike, at least here in this 3rd inning?
Have to.
Grounds one towards short. Nishioka has it. Feeds Kadire for 1. The relay to first pulls Mauer off the bag. So the Angels will have runners at the corners with 1 out. Howie Kendrick coming up.
And yet Kadire playing out of his normal position. Tried to turn a strong arm. I mentioned the fact that he's got one of the strongest arms, particularly from the outfield position. It's all about the footwork and trying to get out of the glove quickly to make that throw to the first base for Kadire.
So Howie steps up 1 for 1. He had a base hit into center field leading off the second. Valencia is in at third base. Mauer holding Vernon Wells at first. The off-speed pitch is in for a strike. Great numbers over the last 11 starts for Kendrick. Lifts this one in the air on the first base side. Foul territory. Long run over for Kadire and Kubel. And Kadire, I think alertly, maybe lets that ball drop. Run's going to score, it seems, with Callaspo at third base. But
especially the way he's going back on that baseball. If he makes the play, it's a tough throw for him. And he's looking almost to be called off by Kubel coming in from right field.
That's what
Again, playing extremely deep.
Exactly.
Very difficult to come in on baseballs that far away. Borges got that base hit in front of him on the game 1. And so there's, I mean, when you're playing that deep, a lot of flares can fall in front of you.
0-2 pitch, and Kendrick goes down swinging. 2 outs. Fans are ready to kick back in the best seats at the game. The Chevy Sweet Seats are up for grabs for you and 3 lucky guests. You could even score some sweet seats of your own with a brand new Chevy. Official rules and your chance to win. Visit ChevyBaseball.com/Angels. So the Angels getting their first 2 men on here with nobody out. Now have runners at first and third. No runs have come across. 2 outs, and Mark Trumbo coming up. Breaking pitch is down and in.
Think about Liriano, 9 wild pitches this season. There's a tendency to overthrow that slider down and in.
One 0. Trumbo swinging a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. Mark reached on the fielder's choice, scored a run in the second. Callaspo standing at third. Wells at first. Trumbo fouls this one off to the right. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Well, we've seen a number of those swings on that changeup away. It's barely off the end of the bat. Pop it up, foul. The right-handed batters against Liriano.
Boy, oh, too often this season, the Angels have gotten the first 2 men on base, not scored any runs, and still with the opportunity to do that here in the third to get a run across. And a throw to first base. I believe it was through the Baltimore series. The Angels have done that 25 times this year. Now they've played more games since Baltimore, but 25 times this year the Angels have gotten their first 2 men on to start an inning and not scored a run. One-two pitch. Trumbo bolts one out to deep left field. Not going to happen here. Gone! 3-run Jimmy Jack for Mark Trumbo. 5-0 Angels.
Boy, Mark Trumbo's second time in this series, a 3-run home run. First game to dead center field. This one is over the first bullpen into the second bullpen. Giving him home run number 21, RBI, 59, 60, and 61. Slider did not get down and in. Liriano knew it. As soon as he released that baseball, he wasn't getting that one back.
21st home run of the season now with 61 runs batted in as Eric Aybar takes ball 1 outside. That's down and in. 2 balls and no strikes. Aybar a strikeout victim in the second. It's kind of reverse psychology. You talk about a bad number, bad stat like that, and you hope good things happen. As Aybar swings through the fastball. And it's 2-1, and Trumbo delivering on a 1-2 pitch. In grand fashion.
That's what makes him so special. He had a 3-0 count last time up, swung a pitch out of the strike zone, hit that ground ball to second. It was almost a double play. This time around, falling behind in the count, gets a slider and makes the pitcher pay for it. So those adjustments, not getting down on himself when he has a bad swing or a bad at bat. So able to make adjustments. Boy, that power stroke he has is fantastic.
6th home run here at the Big A over his last 11 home games. And the 91st hit by the Angels this year. 2-2. Aybar takes outside, a full count. That was the 69th pitch thrown by Liriano here in the third. We saw that last night with Scott Baker throwing a lot of pitches and lasting only 3 innings. As Aybar chases that pitch, and he'll go down for the 3rd out. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Francisco Liriano, but 1 mistake down into Mark Trumbo, and he punished it. A 3-run home run. Ruth puts the Angels up 5-0. For AT&T Trivia, ex-Angel Twin Rod Carew, 7 batting titles. Which 3 players won 8 or more?
Wade Boggs in there?
It's a possibility. Denard Span leading things off, takes a strike with the Angels up 5-0.
That guy who could swing pretty good down in San Diego for a number of years, maybe?
Another possibility. You mean the head coach of the San Diego State Aztec baseball team? No balls, 2 strikes here on Denard Span, who struck out looking in the first.
Always happy I never had a face hit.
Yeah.
You might have had a few more hits then.
What would have been your approach against Tony Gwynn?
Same thing I had against Rod Carew. I throw the ball right down the middle of the plate and hope he did a line drive at somebody. Didn't waste any pitches that way.
Span pulling this one up the line. Mark Trumbo's got the skimmer. He'll take it himself, and there's the first out of the 4th.
That was our actual scouting report on Rod Carew. I'm sitting in there as a young pitcher, feeling real comfortable about that, throwing the ball right down the middle of the plate and hope he hits a line drive at somebody. I'm still waiting for the punchline. It never came about.
I can only imagine your response. Are you serious?
Seriously, Clark?
It may have been a little bit more colorful coming from you at that point of your stage of your career.
Yeah.
But the genesis of the thought was, are you serious?
Yeah.
As you ran your fingers through your mullet.
Yes.
Are you serious?
Like, wait a minute now. Aren't I supposed to try to go the old adage, up and in, down and away? Doesn't that work? It didn't work against Rod Carew, I guess.
I figure with the mullet that you sported for so long, you'd ask Gaylord Perry how to hide some Vaseline in there, man.
Allegedly.
Load up the baseball. Mauer ahead of the count at 2-0. There's a strike, 2-1. Mauer grounded out to Howie Kendrick in the first innings. He's 0 for 1. Three and 1 now. 2 strikeouts and no walks for Dan Haren. There's Michael Cuddyer on deck. This one blind to left field. Vernon Wells can't get it. Plays a short hop. Mauer's on board with a leadoff single. First hit allowed by Haren. It comes in the 4th inning. We just showed you the trivia question. This right here at the Big A against the Minnesota Twins. Career hit number 3,000 for him.
See, that's why you don't throw the ball in the outer half of the plate. He gets a base hit. Throw it down the middle, hit a line drive.
As you watch this video, the best part about it for me anyways is that many members of the Angels team come onto the field. The hug that Rod Carew gives Gene Mauch.
That's incredible.
Flat out awesome.
Yes.
There's Michael Cuddyer with a man at first. Haren's first pitch is upstairs.
I don't know if you'll ever find in the history of the game a more pure hitter than Rod Carew. He was so good. I mean, no matter where you threw the baseball, he was going to hit that ball hard.
1 ball, 1 strike. He was a judge today in the 2nd annual Cooking Challenge at the ESPN Zone in Anaheim.
Yeah, and he was talking about what pitcher did he feel comfortable and hit very well against, and he mentioned Catfish Hunter.
Isn't that crazy? Cuddyer
Hall of
bounces it
Famer
foul.
Catfish Hunter.
1-2. It's that moment we were just talking about.
Well, that's a sincere, special moment right there. I get goosebumps looking at that. Gene Mauch was a great, great baseball mind. Loved the game.
1-2. Foul tipped and hung on to by Mathis. 2 outs. 3rd strikeout for Haren. And with Mauer over at first base, brings up Jason Kubel. Kubel hit one out to deep right field, leading off to second, but Torrey made the catch on it. He's 0 for 1. Now it just missed up and in. 2-0 now. Kubel had a 3-hit game last night, going 3 for 5, raising his average to 312. Hit his 7th home run. He's got 59 runs batted in. Takes that pitch up and away. Aaron falling behind at 3-0. The Halos with 2 runs in the second, 3 in the third. Here's a strike. 3-1. Doesn't give in. Even 3-0. Little breaking pitch, little cut fastball. Something with movement.
A lot of times you see a pitcher just throw a fastball right down the middle of the plate, especially when you're up 5-0. But he has that ability to be able to control that break on that cut fastball.
Kubel lifting one out to right field. Playable for Torrey Hunter. Comes on. That'll end the inning. The Twins get their first hit and leave them stranded at first. We head to the bottom of the fourth. 5-0 Angels. AT&T. By your Southern California Ford dealers. Visit us today and trade up to Ford. And by Jack in the Box. For a limited time, Jack's really big chicken sandwich combo is back for only $3.99 plus tax at participating restaurants. 5-0 Angels, bottom of the fourth here at the Big A. 8-9-1. Do it for the Angels. Peter Bourjos trying to bunt his way on. This one to the first base side. Mauer not able to get back on the bag, and Bourjos has an infield base hit. There's that miscommunication or that indecision on the part of Joe Mauer, still learning to play first base. Started to charge that, and you had the second baseman Kadire cutting across there, but once you do that, all of a sudden it's a foot race. And credit Brian O'Nora at first base, the umpire, for taking his time before making the call.
Exactly, and I think he made the right call on this play. Right idea for Bourjos, a little bit too much as far as towards the pitcher. Oh, well, a little bit closer.
Yeah.
Maybe he wasn't. Sort of I think the swipe tag, too, made O'Nora think maybe he didn't touch the base there, too.
Rephrase. Credit Brian O'Nora for making a great call.
Yes. I think it was a great call.
I mean, no argument from Ron Gardenhire. Mauer's got the baseball. Kind of a bang-bang play.
See?
But a lot of times, though, you get umpires that kind of get caught up in the moment, and it's difficult not to sometimes. But make a very quick call as opposed to kind of processing it for just a split second longer.
Again, and you mentioned the fact that Joe Mauer, not a lot of experience at first base. As he plays more first base, you're going to realize you have to stay back on that play. The second baseman's going to come in when they allow the pitcher. That's all about communication. Again, as a pitcher, tell your first baseman to stay back and be at the base. Jared Weaver does a great job as far as that. He'll communicate to Mark Trumbo at first, saying, stay there at the base. I have that side of the infield. That's what you want to do as far as communication. That way, for a guy with not a lot of experience can know to stay there, that you're going to be able to pick him up and cover up that baseball going down that part of the field.
Mathis trying to bunt Borges over, unable to get the bunt down so far, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Looks like the ball is in the glove. Looks like Mauer's foot is there. Yeah, the Angels get the benefit. That's real time right there. That's a pretty good perspective for an umpire, what he has to go through. 11th bunt hit for Peter Borges this year. Mathis takes inside. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Jeff had an infield base hit. Picked up an RBI in the 2nd inning.
When you look again at this Minnesota Twins club, a couple guys playing out of position. Reason why the score is what it is right now. 5-0. You got Michael Kadire doing the best he can at second base, but he's not a second baseman necessarily. Joe Mauer, so used to him being behind the plate playing first base with Justin Morneau not available yet. So it's a little different club for Ron Gardenhire. They do play strong, tough baseball, but if they're not guys in their normal position, it's difficult to make those plays.
A full count here on Mathis. Borges takes off. Mathis dribbles one up the third base line. Tough play for Liriano. He's got a good arm and a nice play by Mauer. Borges never stopped running, ends up at third.
That is great base running. Can't teach that. It's his instincts. The speed itself is impressive, but it's the instincts that Peter Borges has. Put himself in position. Have a swing away. It works just like a bunt. As soon as he sees the pitcher has to make that throw, he's going right away. He reads it, and he knows, especially with a left-handed pitcher, to spin throw the first base a little bit longer to be able to get rid of the baseball, and easily slides into third.
He's watching the play develop, not necessarily picking up Dino Ebel. He's watching everything in front of him, knows what he can get away with. It forces the Twins to bring their infield in as Meister Sturis steps in with 1 out. And Sturis lifts one in the air down the right field line. Long run for Jason Kubel. This one is a fair ball. A base hit for Sturis. 6-0 Angels. And again, as you pointed out in this series, Kubel playing very deep in right field, especially with a guy like Sturis and from the right side of the plate.
And you're going to get those flares that keep falling in front of the outfielders from Minnesota. They're trying the best they can, but they're not in a position to be able to come in and make that play on that flare by Meister Sturis. Especially when you have a pitcher throwing change-up fastballs away, you're going to have a number of those flares the other way, and that's why you would think, your right fielder to play a little more shallow there, because it's going to be off the end of the bat, and you can come in and prevent a run from scoring.
Yeah, pretty good approach, too, by Meister, looking for that off-speed pitch, even though he was still fooled on it, trying to hit it to the right side as Cayasco bounces one to Kadire, flips to Nishioka. The relay to first is in time, a double play. That will end the 4th, but the Angels get a run, and through 4, Halos lead at 6-0. Trivia question. 7 batting titles for Rod Carew. Which 3 players won 8 or more? Ty Cobb, Honus Wagner, and Tony Gwynn. Jim Thome to lead things off here with the Angels up 6-0. Thome struck out looking in the second, one of 3 punch-outs for Dan Haren. No walks. 1 hit allowed. Two balls and 1 strike. The Halos over shift with Thome, 3 infielders on the right side. Howie Kendrick out in shallow right field.
Well, you can see Jim Thome angry at himself. He swung at that pitch. It was down and out of the strike zone, guessing fastball.
This one pulled over to Howie. And from shallow right, throws down Jim Thome, and there's out number 1. The NFL is back, and Fox's coverage begins with a preseason special as the Buccaneers head to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs. Coverage begins on Friday, August the 12th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific in high def, only on Fox. It's pretty good impersonation of a quarterback.
Yep.
Look like Vince Ferragamo.
There you go.
Danny Valencia takes a strike.
Former LA Ram.
Valencia for 1. He grounded out to third base his first time up. Grounds this one toward the hole at short. Ibar's got it to the backhand. 2 outs.
Boy, does he have a strong arm from that shortstop position. Able to backhand, plant his foot, and make that strong throw to get Valencia at first base.
That'll bring up Delman Young with 2 outs and nobody on. The Twins have had 2 base runners. Nishioka reaching on the error by Howie Kendrick in the third, and that 1-out base hit by Maurer in the fourth. Delman takes a strike. He had a fly ball to right field leading off to third, so he's 0 for 1. This one in the air to shallow right. Torrey coming in a couple of steps. Dan Haren with a 1-2-3 inning. We head to the bottom of the 5th. The Angels still up 6-0. Cue from you. Decided to sport or Burt Blyleven, who was sporting it in the first couple of innings.
Yeah, he still hasn't given me back that hat. I guess it is going into his house. He has to expand on with all the free gifts.
Yeah, no doubt. Torrey Hunter takes a fastball for a strike. Hey, did we just see a colleague of ours, Chris McGee, Wearing one of those skater hats behind home plate?
Behind home plate. Taking in the game as a fan.
Nice. That pitch inside. It's 1 ball, 1 strike on Torrey. Geter, as he's affectionately known, one of the all-time great guys.
Oh, he's the best. Loves baseball also.
Torrey, little jam shot into center field. He's got his second hit of the game. He's been on base all 3 times with 2 singles and now a walk. Fans follow the Angels at foxsportswest.com/Angels and read Michael Martinez's column on unwritten rules. And be sure to vote for the Angels poll question. Which do you think is the most amazing Major League Baseball record? Rogers Hornsby hit .424.
That's a pretty good year. 56-game hit streak. And then gets a stop.
This one off the glove of Nishioka. Torrey rounding second, headed to third. Vernon thought about going to second if Span's throw was going to third base. Decides to slam on the brakes, and he is on board. Back-to-back hits for the Angels here in the 5th, putting runners at the corners.
Again, we talked about the defense, and a little bit different than we would normally see out of the Minnesota Twins. Yes, that ball was hit hard off the glove. It's a play's not made. Minnesota down towards the bottom as far as fielding percentage in the American League with 77 errors on the season. No errors tonight so far, but some plays they wouldn't normally make.
Wells 1 for 3 with that base hit. Here's Howie Kendrick with runners at the corners. Howie swinging at the breaking pitch. And it's no balls and a strike. Looks like the Twins starting to get action in their bullpen. Liriano's thrown 84 pitches so far tonight. Most runs that Liriano has allowed this year, 7 in a game. The pitch is high, and it's 1-1. Phil Dumaitre is up and loosening. Haven't seen the left-hander in this series. Now he fouls that pitch back, and it's 1-2. Kendrick tonight with a base hit and a strikeout. He's 1 for 2. Nine hits on the night for the Angels. And a 1-2. Now he strikes out swinging for the second consecutive at-bat. There's out number 1.
Now it's time for a Coors Light cold hard blast. Trumbo, second time in this series. Going big fly with a couple guys on base. Slider down and in, dropped the head of the bat, and next into the second bullpen for a 3-run home run, giving them 21 home runs and 61 RBI on the season. He was at the cook-off today too, wasn't he?
He was. Did a nice job. One ball, no strikes. Trumbo reaching on the fielder's choice and scoring a run in the second. That 3-run home run in the third. 1 for 2 game. Corey Hunter standing at third. Vernon Wells at first. Outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Two from Liriano. Just a little bouncer toward the middle. Nishioka with the bobble. A run will score, and it's 7-0 Angels. Figure that'll go as an infield base hit.
That's one thing about Mark Trumbo. Even if he doesn't have necessarily a perfect swing on a baseball, he's going to run hard down the line. Senses the possibility of infield hit. He's done a number of them so far this season. Just making contact. Is able to go down the line and, again, not able to make the play, but realizing he's got an opportunity to get a base hit and an RBI out of that. Even not necessarily a good swing for him.
4th RBI of the night. 62 on the season, 1st and 2nd. Still one out. Here's Erick Aybar, who's had a tough time against Liriano tonight. 2 strikeouts. Oh, 1 pitch. Aybar chopping this one to Nishioka. Runs to the bag. Aybar legs it out. For whatever reason, Nishioka deciding to take it himself. Kadire was there. And Aybar, with his hustle down the line, is able to stay out of the double play. There are 2 outs with runners at the corners.
Again, getting back to the fact that this is not normal to see for a Minnesota Twins team as far as the defensive side of it. Well, Liriano's going to look up. He's given up 7 runs, when in reality, probably he's only made about 2 or 3 bad pitches during the course of this game. And yet he's looking up. He's got 7 earned runs.
10 hits allowed, 5 strikeouts, and 2 walks. Checking in on Aybar at first base. Peter Bourjos at the plate, 2 for 2. An RBI Flair doubled. In the second, had a bunt base hit in the 4th, and he's also scored twice. It's Vernon Wells now at third base. Aybar at first. It's a 94th pitch of the game, a broken bat chopper to Kadire. He'll retire Bourjos. Now we'll end the inning. The Angels do get a run on 3 hits. We've played 5. The Angels on top 7-0.
Coors Light freeze cam. Ground ball back to Dan Haren. Turns and throws to second base, but he has 2 people at second base. Erick Aybar, the right decision, cuts across, is able to make that play with both infielders in position just in case that baseball got away. Aybar turns a 1-6-3 double play. That was our Coors Light freeze cam. Brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light.
Halos up 7-0 here at the top of the 6th inning. Minnesota sending up 8-9-1. Nishioka, Butera, and Span against Dan Haren. The first pitch fastball in for a strike. Dan with 3 punch outs, no walks, 1 hit allowed. A base hit by Joe Mauer in the 4th. One ball, 1 strike on the Twins shortstop. It rolled one between first and second, and Howie Kendrick could not come up with it. Reached on the error by Howie. This one popped up to shallow right center. Howie going out, Bourjos coming on. Borges with the call and the catch. 1 out. Fans Friday is another Flashback Friday. The Halos will be sporting their 1990s uniforms when they take on the Seattle Mariners at 7:05. To purchase your tickets today, visit the Angels Stadium ticket office or log on to angels.com. As a matter of fact, this weekend series against the Mariners features Jason Vargas going tomorrow night, the left-hander, against Jared Weaver. Blake Bevan going Saturday against Tyler Chadwood, and then Sunday, Felix Hernandez against Irvin Santana. The first pitch is in for a strike. It is anticipated, although nothing is fact, but hearing rumblings perhaps that Jared Weaver may succumb to the suspension after that start tomorrow night, decide to serve it, get it out of the way. But until that decision is made, it's still just pure speculation. But that has been kind of floated around today in the Big A.
And that's your option, to be able to appeal the suspension. And that's what Jared did to keep himself in position to throw again.
A 1-2 count here on Butera.
Well, the odd thing, 2 batters faced this inning for Dan Haren, both first pitch strikes. Prior to that, he's faced 16 batters only 5 times during the course of the game. Has thrown first pitch strike 4 times, 2-0, yet he's battled back with no walks and able to make quality pitches behind in the count because he can throw that slider or cut fastball for strikes instead of just challenging hitters with a fastball middle part of the plate.
He jams Butera here, and he fouls it off to the right, and the count remains at 2-2. Looks like with Gardenhire talking with Liriano in the dugout, Dumoutre ready to go. Liriano's night has come to an end. Butera's at-bat has come to an end here in the 6th inning via the strikeout. The 4th for Haren. There are 2 outs.
And again, goes upstairs with a 4-seam fastball. You know, you remember we were talking about Dan Haren a few games ago when he ran into some problems. He was throwing too many cut fastballs and sliders. Mike Butcher thought so. He wanted to get back to establishing the fastball first and then utilizing the cutter and then the split finger fastball and his slider and curveball.
No balls, 2 strikes on Denard Span, who struck out looking in the first, grounded out to Trumbo in the 4th. 0-2 game. Broken bat bouncer right back to Haren. The barrel ends up in the seats behind the dugout. Haren has another 1-2-3 inning. We hit to the bottom of the 6th inning. The Angels still on top.
Casino. Get your game on by El Pollo Loco. Try El Pollo Loco's 2-piece leg and thigh combo with 2 small classic sides and a drink for $5. El Pollo Loco. Feel the excellence. And by Time Warner Cable.
Halos up 7-0 here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Francisco Liriano no longer in the game. It's Phil Dumitre, the Bakersfield, California native, in our in-and-out who's in, who's out. Dumitre comes in to pitch in his 28th game, a 1-1 mark, and a 4.10 ERA.
And Dumitre just 13 walks, 15 punch-outs. A guy that works down in the strike zone, sinks the fastball, good changeup, curveball. Hits the contact type reliever for the club.
Dumitre, graduate of Ridgeview High School in Bakersfield with the Bakersfield Junior College. Former first-round pick, 22nd overall by the Boston Red Sox in 1997. Pitched in the big leagues with Cincinnati, the Pirates, and now Minnesota. He'll face 9-1-2 for the Angels. Mathis, Izturis, and Callaspo. Jeff swinging first pitch, lifts a fly ball out toward right center field. Jason Kubel with the catch. There is the first out. Mathis 1 for 3 with an RBI single in the second. So we spin the lineup back to the top with Meister Izturis coming to the plate. Liriano tonight matching a season high in 7 runs allowed in his 5 innings of work. He had 5 strikeouts, 2 walks. He gave up 10 hits. That was a season high, or is a season high for him.
One of those odd games as a pitcher, you sit in the clubhouse and trying to think what went wrong, and you feel I've only made one bad pitch. That was the Trumbo when he hit a 3-run home run. He wanted to go down and in on that slider, but ended up getting a lot of the plate, and Trumbo hit it out for a 3-run home run. A lot of other things went against him on the defensive side. Again, the Angels, credit them, took advantage of some mistakes defensively made by the Twins and scored those 7 runs.
Fastball on the outside corner. It's 1-2 on Meiser. With a base hit with an RBI in the 4th inning. A 1 for 3 game so far. The Halos scoring twice in the 2nd, 3 in the 3rd. Solo runs in the 4th and 5th. Breaking pitch. Some line foul. And by the way, nobody was injured on that broken bat that ended the top of the 6th inning. Matter of fact, that barrel of the bat hitting an empty seat.
Thankfully.
Another 1-2. Izturis lifts a fly ball out to shallow right. Here comes Jason Kubel. 2 outs. Just the second time in this game that Twins pitching has retired the first 2 men to start an inning. The other being back in the 1st inning, that Torrey Hunter picked up the Angels' first hit with a base hit. He's 2 for 2 with a couple of singles and a walk. He's also scored a run. Alberto Callaspo is the guy at the plate, however. Torrey is on deck. Callaspo with a strikeout, a walk, and a double play ball. No balls, 2 strikes on Alberto. He did score one of the 3 runs in the 3rd inning. That was the inning in which Liriano issued his only 2 walks. They came to the first 2 guys in Callaspo and Hunter. Fastball called strike 3 on the inside corner, and for the first time tonight, the Angels go down in order. 6 in the books, 7-0 Angels. Top of the 7th. Halos up 7-0. Dan Haren to face Mauer, Kadire, and Kubel, 2, 3, and 4. Mauer takes the strike. Joe with the only hit in this game. That was a 1-out single in the 4th inning. No balls, 2 strikes.
Well, that's a great movement on a two-seam fastball. That pitch started off the inside corner and ran almost middle of the plate at 89 miles an hour for Dan Haren.
Fastball got him looking down the pipe. There's out number 1.
It's not too often you made Joe Mauer look bad at the plate, and that was certainly one of the times. Dan Haren is a great sequence of pitches against him. And after with a 4-seam fastball, right on the corner. Still think that's one of the most effective pitches, 0-2. Fastball away, either on the corner or just off the corner.
Well, you get so accustomed to watching Haren, especially against left-handed batters, work down and in, down and in, down and in. A plethora of those breaking pitches or split finger pitches, and all of a sudden you get him, you throw a 2-seamer away, and then a 4-seamer away, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, wait a second.
Yeah.
That's not fair.
As a hitter, you're thinking, I don't even know what to look for.
Right.
When he's getting locked in. After starting out the first 14 batters, only 3 times throwing the first pitch strike, 7 in a row since that point. He's getting locked back in, not wasting any time at all now.
Kadire fouling this one back. The count remains at no balls, 2 strikes here on the Twins' second baseman. Kadire seeing action for the first time in this series at second. Fouls this one off to the right. Kadire's popped out to Trumbo, and he has struck out. 82 pitches thrown so far for Haren. 5 punch-outs, no walks. Got him swinging. Down goes Kadire. Back-to-back punch-outs here in the 7th. 2 outs.
And this time going up the ladder with the fastball. Has that ability to change eye level so well. Boy, 13 straight strikes for Dan Haren and his ability to get the last 2 batters with fastballs. One swinging and one looking. 2 very good hitters in Mauer and Kadire.
1 ball, no strikes on Jason Kubel, who twice has hit a fly ball to right field. Two balls and 1 strike. This one out toward left center field. Vernon Wells moving to his left. Dan Haren with another 1, 2, 3 inning. 7th inning stretch time at the Big A, and the Angels in control, 7-0. Torrey Hunter, whether with his bat, his glove, or his smile, the 3-time All-Star and 9-time Gold Glover has left an incredible imprint on the Angels franchise.
He's a special person, and I think that goes a long way to his success.
50 years, man, and all the history here. It's pretty cool, you know, this just knowing everybody in the organization is kind of like a family.
Torrey Hunter set to lead things off here in the bottom of the 7th inning with the Angels up by the score of 7-0. The 4-time All-Star facing his former mates. 2 hits tonight and a walk. 2-for-2 game. The Angels setting up 3, 4, and 5. Hunter, Wells, and Kendrick against Jose Mijares, the left-hander who comes on in place of Duvitray when 1 inning. He struck out 1 man. Actually retired the Angels for the first time in order tonight.
Mijares before this season was very effective throwing for the Minnesota Twins. Fastball, 90-93, curve, slider, changeup. Already 5 for 10 in this series against the Twins. Coming into this series, though, had his problems against his former mates, in about 235. Swinging much better, certainly in this series.
Torrey looks at a fastball for a strike. Mijares, 26 years of age, native of Venezuela. Got to the big leagues for the first time in 2008. Struggling this year as far as the numbers are concerned as Torrey gets this one off the end of the bat. Fouls it off to the right. It's no balls, 2 strikes. 39th game this year for Mijares and a 6.04 ERA. Control has been an issue for him. 22 walks, 17 strikeouts.
That's one thing. If you come out of the bullpen, you're not throwing strikes, you're not going to have a good ERA.
Breaking pitch out towards center field. Denard Span will play this one on a bounce. A 3-hit game for Torrey. Kids on Sunday, SpongeBob and Dora the Explorer will be at the Big A when the Angels host the Mariners. That's a 12:35 start. Kids will receive a SpongeBob shirt, courtesy of Nickelodeon, while supplies last. Purchase your tickets at the Angel Stadium ticket office or at angels.com.
Well, I can't wait for that.
Oh, I bet.
Patrick going to be there too?
Dude, I don't know. I really don't.
Oh, yeah.
I don't watch. Yeah, I mean, if it makes you feel better, yeah, I guess Patrick will. I don't even know who Patrick is.
He's a starfish down at the bottom. Come on, you don't know Squidward and Patrick?
No.
Gary, their little pet?
No, I'm a little worried about you.
No, okay, my bad.
It's going to be a good look for you, too, that youth large.
No, I'm not wearing that one now. This time, I will not do that.
You wore the Jared Weaver jersey.
Yes, I know. No.
Come on.
I'm good.
Be a team player.
It is break out the Red Week.
It is break out the Red Week.
Yeah, I might have to.
Vernon Wells 1 for 3, had a base hit his last time up. Might be a slim fitting youth large.
Oh, perfect.
2-0, and Vernon lifts in the air to left. Delman Young is over. 1 out. Mijares just got that pitch in enough on the hands.
Yeah, Vernon pretty upset with himself. That's a pitch he can hit a long way out of the ballpark.
So 1 out, 1 on for Howie Kendrick. We were talking about Mijares and the numbers that he's put up this year. Considering what he'd done prior to this season, he's been very effective for Minnesota. Matter of fact, since his debut in 2008. For relievers, lefty relievers, put up a very respectable ERA. 3rd best ERA coming into the season at 2.49, behind Scott Downs and J.P. Howell. But this year, a different story for him.
And it doesn't seem quite as aggressive with his fastball. You see the velocity there still with good movement at 88 miles an hour, but hasn't been able to go upstairs with that fastball, be able to spot it on the inner half, too, to keep the hitter honest.
That's a strike at the knees. 1 and 2 on Kendrick. Howie 1 for 3 tonight with a base hit back in the second. He has struck out twice. Halos needing a victory here tonight to stay a game back of the Texas Rangers, who defeated the Tigers earlier this afternoon at Comerica Park. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Tampa Bay beat Toronto 7-6. Cleveland defeated Boston. Justin Masterson taking down his former teammates 7-3. Kansas City beat Baltimore 9-4. I think the White Sox are very happy the Yankees are no longer in town. Howie fouls this one back.
Well, they had a tough time against the Yankees. That's an understatement. And there's some high scores against them. So just when the White Sox were back in the race, they've fallen back out of it.
White Sox now 6.5 back. Cleveland picks up a game on Detroit. They're 3 back in the Central. There's a 2-2. Now he fouls it back. Well, line shot this time. The Yankees with a win and Boston losing, now tied atop the American League East.
Plus they played this weekend, right?
Another 2-2. Kendrick lines one to right field. Is it going to hang up for Kubel? It does. 2 outs. Well struck by Kendrick. Nothing to show for it. Brings up Mark Trumbo. Speaking of which, this week on Fox Saturday Baseball, Curtis Granderson and the Yankees head to Boston to take on Adrian Gonzalez in the American League East leading. American League tied.
Yes.
American League East tied first place. Both of those teams. And a showdown between 2 of the most bitter rivals in all of sports. This week's telecast of Fox Saturday Baseball begins at 1 p.m. Pacific only on Fox.
Even more intriguing now.
Yeah,
they're tied.
They are tied.
And they like each other, too.
Trumbo looks at a fastball for a strike. Mark a 2-for-3 game. 4 runs batted in. 3-run home run in the 3rd inning. An infield base hit with an RBI in the 5th. And in case you're wondering, Texas back home this week and taking on the Cleveland Indians. That's inside and it gets away from Butera. More than likely a pass ball that advances Torrey Hunter to second base.
Again, you look up at the scoreboard, there's no errors today for Minnesota, but it seems like they could have had 3 or 4 during the course of this game. This hasn't been a well-played game defensively for the Minnesota Twins tonight, and we're so accustomed to seeing them playing great fundamental baseball.
One pitch. It's a strike. 1-2. You know who makes his debut tomorrow night for Cleveland? Ubaldo Jimenez.
Well, you remember how hot he was last year before the All-Star break? What, he had 16 wins?
Yeah.
Didn't win 20 games. It's been a struggle for him since that point at the All-Star game last year. But he does have great stuff.
Trumbo strikes out, swinging. That will end the inning. No runs a hit. And the Angels leave a man in scoring position. 7 in the books. Halos still lead at 7-0. Card.
Boy, Dan Herron has been flat out dealing once again. 7 innings, only 1 hit allowed, no walks. Angels scored in 4 straight innings. And Mark Trumbo with a 3-run home run, his second 3-run home run of the series. 18 RBI, too, in his last 11 games. He's been swinging the bat extremely well.
Jim Thome takes a strike to start off this 8th inning. Swings and bounces this one foul, and it snowballs 2 strikes. The only hit allowed by Dan Herron was back to the 4th inning with 1 out. Joe Mauer slicing one out to left field. Landed just in front of Vernon Wells. That's hit, one of 2 base runners. Fastball just missed. 1-2.
Again, try to throw that 2-seam fastball to freeze him in and then run over the plate, but just a little bit too high and out of the strike zone.
Gallo remained at a ball and 2 strikes. Thome a strikeout victim in the 2nd. A ground out in the 5th. 6 punch outs for Herron. No walks and that 1 hit. Out towards center field, chasing Borges back, still going back at the wall, and that is gone. Make that 2 hits allowed by Dan Herron, the 598th career home run by Jim Thome, and it's 7-1 Angels.
And 3rd career home run off of Dan Herron. Got that great power to center, to left center field. Jim Thome. Looked like it was more of an off-speed pitch, maybe a split-finger fastball. Seen the baseball carry really well so far in this homestand. 598 career home runs for Jim Thome, one of the best human beings you're ever going to meet in the game.
Well, he's now 26th all time in the RBI category with 1,653 as Valencia pulls one to left field. Wells will play it on a hop. Back-to-back hits for the Twins here in the 8th inning. And for Jim Thome, the 12th home run he's hit in his career here at the Big A. So leadoff home run followed by the single by Danny Valencia. Brings up Delmon Young. Herron, by the way, has thrown 94 pitches so far. 65 have been strikes. Delmon Young is 0 for 2 with a couple of fly balls to right field. 0-1. This was a little looper over the head of Howie Kendrick. So make that 3 straight hits now for the Twins. Looks like the Angels might get some movement in their bullpen. Meek Shioka comes to the plate. He's got downs. And called upon to start loosening. The Angels have a new member of their bullpen also, with Joel Pinheiro being taken out of the rotation and added to the Angels' pen. Pitches down and in for ball 1. No replacement. There's Pinheiro. No replacement has been named in the rotation yet.
And a lot of times when you're a starter, you get moved down to the bullpen. It allows you to get back to that aggressive nature, because you can't think in terms of, I'm just going to try to nitpick around the strike zone. You have to be aggressive as a reliever, and that may indeed help him not only get back to form as far as getting ground ball outs, but also get an opportunity, if he throws well, back into that rotation.
Two balls and a strike. Herron getting ready to throw his 100th pitch of the night. That'll leave the count. Thome with a home run leading off this 8th inning, his 9th of the year. Extends his hitting streak to 9 games. Valencia with a single to left. Young with a single to center. Minnesota with runners at first and second. Two bounce foul. The one time in this game in which Herron has really just been tested. A home run by Thome, snapping a string of 11 consecutive batters retired. 2-2. Bounce it back up the middle. That's another base hit. Valencia going to try to score. And he is out at the plate. Great block by Jeff Mathis. And a strong throw by Peter Bourjos. There's the first out.
Well, credit both Bourjos and Mathis who blocked the plate. A lot of times you're going to think, okay, you're not going to be able to throw to the plate there because you're thinking about in terms of keeping those runners from getting further into scoring position, but when Peter Bourjos saw there was no movement towards third, he threw that ball home right on the money to Mathis as he blocks the plate. It's a great job. We talked about the defense for the Halos this entire year. It's been very, very good. Of course, Bourjos puts himself in position to make a strong throw, and Mathis blocks the plate. No chance for Valencia to even get close to the plate.
Boy, just perfect positioning with the footwork. And a play you really just almost in the back of your mind anticipated, all right, it's the RBI single. First and second, nobody out. And boy, a strong throw by Bourjos right on the money.
Again, instincts coming into play. Bourjos sees Delmon Young at second, going to be content there. He's not going anywhere. He's not going to draw the throw. And Bourjos took a shot. Strong throw, low throw, so he's not going to be able to advance to third base, Delmon Young. And Mathis, even better job as far as blocking the plate.
Getting a pinch hitter here is Ben Revere. Batting at Denard Span's spot. Or pardon me, Drew Butera's spot. Span's on deck. Butera ends the game going 0 for 2. Breaking pitch is down low. Go back and take a look at that play again.
Also, everything was set up well. Bourjos charging the baseball. Trumbo faking that cut off to keep Delmon Young at second base. And, of course, Mathis blocking the plate. So 3 well-played jobs by the infielder. Mark Trumbo, Mathis behind the plate, and, of course, Bourjos in center field. Selling that very well, everybody up the middle.
The ball on the strike here on Revere. He got the start last night at left field, had a 3-hit game. Very good speed. Fouls this one off, and it's a ball and 2 strikes.
When you look at Revere, where he has that little hitch just before he's going to swing, you would think when he's bringing his hands down like that, he's going to be susceptible to a high fastball. You wonder if Dan Herron's going to go up the ladder on him here. Head of the count. A lot of movement in Revere's hands as the baseball is being thrown.
Just missed high. Two balls, 2 strikes. The pitch just missed down and in. A full count. Delmon Young, the runner at second base. Nishioka, the runner at first. Payoff pitch. Revere pulls it over to first base. Trumbo has it, bobbles it. His only play is going to be to first. And there's out number 2. They weren't going to turn a double play regardless. At the speed of Revere going down the line.
And the right decision once Trumbo bobbled that baseball, not to try to force the issue to throw to second, take the out. At this point of the game, it's all about outs. Once you get to that 8th inning.
So here's Denard Span, 0 for 3. A strikeout and a couple of groundouts. Broken bat bouncer right back to Herron. This will end the inning. The Twins do get on the board as Jim Thome hits his 598th career home run. But as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning, the Angels still on top 7-1. Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Out here at the Big A, it is 7-1 Angels. Joe Nathan takes over on the mound for Maharis. He's the third reliever used by Ron Gardenhire. A couple of different changes on the defensive side as well. Michael Kadire moves over to first base after Drew Butera was pinch hit for. That means that Joe Mauer moves behind the plate. And you've got a new second baseman in Matt Tolbert.
Joe Nathan is trying to get back to his form. He was probably and arguably one of the most dominant closers in the American League. Fastball 91 to 96, above average slider, and a very good changeup also.
Maharis faced 4 batters, gave up a hit, had 1 strikeout. Nathan here in the bottom of the 8th inning to face Ibar, Borges, and Mathis. Joe Nathan, 36 years of age. Guy who in 2009 had a 47 save season for the Twins. You talk about dominant. And his ERAs have just been ridiculous. His last year with San Francisco, which was really his first full season there, had an ERA of 2.96. They went 1.62, 2.7, 1.58, 1.88. 1.33 and 2.10 before being shut down and having to have surgery.
And that's a lot of games when you're playing in the Metrodome also, which has always been known as a friendly ballpark as far as runs being scored.
Ibar lifting this one down the left field line. Nishioka cutting across, and he will make the catch for the first out. Hey fans, take the Angels with you this season. Subscribe to MLB.tv today to see every Angels game live or on demand on your computer as well as your favorite devices. Visit Angels.com to order. Get more details. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere. A pop-up by Eric Ibar puts him at an 0 for 4 night. Here's Peter Borges, who's had a couple of hits, an RBI double, a bunt base hit, and the ground out. 2 runs scored.
And a great play in center field on that throw to home. Cut off Valencia at the plate.
Nathan, originally a 6th-round pick in 1995 by the San Francisco Giants.
That trade worked out pretty good for the Twins, don't you think?
Yeah, that's what we were just talking about. Francisco Liriano, Joe Nathan, the key components of that deal. In exchange for A.J. Pierzynski.
He was there for 1 year.
One and done. Boof Bonser, the other pitcher in that deal.
Great name.
Anytime you can work in a Boof Bonser reference during a game,
Oh, you have to.
it's a win-win.
That's his legal name right now, too, right? Boof?
Yeah. This one right back to Nathan. 2 outs. Beats Meta Be Free. What's he changing his name to, man?
Ron Artest?
Yeah.
That's
Meta
about
World
right.
Free, whatever it is.
Yes. I still love World Be Free.
Yeah, World Be Free is the best.
Great
I mean, if
jump
you're going to
shot.
change your name,
Yeah, he had a great jump shot.
Meta World Peace. From Ron Artest.
Yeah, why would you not do that?
Because it makes sense.
Yes.
I mean, if there
For
was
him, definitely.
You want to talk about some logical names you'd like to change your name. If you're Ron Artest,
That's it.
anything having to do with world peace, I'd go with it. And he is.
Yes.
Mathis takes that pitch down and away. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Jeff a 1 for 3 game. Infield base hit, an RBI in the 2nd inning. Francisco Liriano got the start for the Twins. Gave up 7 runs on 10 hits in his 5 innings of work. Two and one. The Twins in the top of the 9th inning have Mauer, Kadire, and Kugel due up. Scott Downs in the bullpen. Just missed off the plate, 3-1. Dan Herron right now is throwing 111 pitches.
Coming off a complete game in Detroit. That's probably going to be it for Dan Herron. What a job he did once again tonight.
A 2-out walk by Joe Nathan puts a man on for Meister Sturz. Victory here tonight. Angels back to 10 games over 500. More importantly, staying a game back to Texas. It'll also be the 30th win at home this year, which is saying a lot. We put them 6 games over 500 at home here on the 4th of August, considering the way this team played early on here at home. They played very well out on the road, but struggled at home. Sturz chasing the high fastball. It's 0-1.
And I'll tell you what, when you look at this, the season so far for the Halos, yes, the pitching has been outstanding, in particular the starting pitching back into the bullpen, but it's their defense has been the difference maker for them. So many games they've won the games with the glove.
And you have to put the pressure on that defense along with the pitching staff, with the ups and downs that the offense has shown this year. You get games like tonight where you score 7 runs, 11 hits. But then you have games where the team struggles, especially with situational hitting. This one out toward right center field. Span moving over. He'll make the catch. That'll end the bottom of the 8th inning. We head to the 9th. The Angels, an opportunity to pick up the series win. Scott Downs coming on. The Angels on top.
Game performance in Detroit. Very good cut fastball. His fastball itself, spotting it very well. Split finger fastball, very effective for him. During the course of the game, no walks, elevated the fastball very well, dominated this Minnesota club that swung the bats extremely well last night. Dan Haren, 8 innings, just 1 earned run, 6 punch-outs, no walks.
Haren in line for his 12th win of the season as we start this 9th inning with the Angels up by the score of 7-1. Scott Downs takes over on the mound. Good numbers on the season. He has been the 8th inning guy for Mike Sosham. He'll be charged with trying to get Mauer, Kadire, and Kubel. 2 lefties and a righty. If the inning continues, another lefty and Jim Thome. Mauer 1 for 3, a base hit in the 4th. 1 ball, no strikes. The Twins with a run on 5 hits. They've left 3 men on base. The Angels 7 runs, 11 hits, 1 error, and 6 men left on. 2 balls and no strikes. Mauer will look at a strike. It's 2-1. Scott has not pitched since last Thursday. That was at Comerica Park, but 1 inning. Gave up a run on a couple of hits. It was the 12-7 Angels victory over the Tigers. Mauer grounds one over to short. Ibar has it. 1 out.
Scott Downs has done such a good job in this 8th inning role. Not only as far as pitching, but helping out a lot of the young pitchers down in that bullpen. You see how he aggressively throws strikes. Pitches inside very well. Utilizes his very good slider too.
There's Michael Kadire. Started the game at second base. Finishing it up over at first base. Takes a strike. Kadire 0 for 3. A pop-up and a couple of strikeouts. Boy, got him to wave at that breaking pitch. Took something off of it, and it's 0-2. The foul tip got Ed Rapuano behind the plate.
Another good breaking pitch from Scott Downs. Now he has that opportunity to go upstairs with the fastball. Jeff Mathis doing the proper thing, giving Ed Rapuano, who's been very effective as far as calling balls and strikes, and very consistent. A little bit of a break as he tries to work off that foul ball off his foot.
May have gotten him on the left hand or arm. Rick Smith, assistant trainer out there.
Might have got it right on the wrist area. Like initially got him on the foot, but got up, bounced off the ground, and got him right in the hand area.
Dyer pulls this one down the line, and that is a fair ball. On an 0-2 pitch, Dyer picks up a one-out double, his 21st of the year, and extends his hitting streak to 10 games.
Boy, after 3 straight breaking pitches, he was able to reach down and hook that ball down the left field line. Not a bad pitch, but when he tracked that pitch back to back times, he had a better opportunity to get the hit, and he was able to hit it right down inside the line.
Yeah, not an easy pitch to keep fair. Jason Kubel at the plate, looks at a fastball for a strike. Kubel tonight 0 for 3. 3 fly ball outs for the Twins right fielder. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Jared Weaver going tomorrow night against Jason Vargas of the Seattle Mariners. 3-game series as the M's roll into town. 2 night games and a day game. 7:05 tomorrow, 6:05 on Saturday, then 12:35 Sunday afternoon. Ground ball to first. Trumbo's got it. He'll take it himself. 2 outs as Dyer advances over to third base. So the Twins down to the last out here in the ninth. And here comes Jim Thome. Thome extended his hitting streak to 9 games. Their leadoff home run in the 8th inning. A 1 for 3 game for Thome. Fastball is in for a strike. 40,365 in the house. Skater hat night.
It's a great giveaway tonight.
Our thanks to Chronic Tacos for sponsoring the hats. Here comes the 0-1. Down and in. 1 ball, 1 strike. One from Downs, and Thome bounces it foul. 1-2 now.
And a chance to win another series. Last 14 series come to this one, 12-1-1. White Social's all about winning series.
One ball, 2 strikes on Thome with 2 outs, and Dyer standing at third. The pitch in the dirt. It's 2-2. Tell me, bounced the foul. This one off his foot. Scott Downs having thrown 16 pitches here in the ninth inning. A one-out double to Michael Cuddyer. He's standing over at third base, trying to get that last out, pick up the Angels' 61st victory of the season. The 2-2, foul back. Going with a fastball.
Now I have him set up for a breaking pitch. Although he's very good as far as being able to spot that fastball inside against a left-handed batter.
Got him swinging. Down goes Thome. Light that baby up as the Angels take the finale, the rubber game of the series against the Twins by the final of 7-1.
Boy, nice bounce back game after last night. Scott Downs able to finish it off. The defense once again for the Halos very effective. Dan Haren threw in another outstanding game. 8 innings, 1 run allowed, 5 hits. The offense, Peter Borges, a solid game. Mark Trumbo, a 3-run home run, his 21st home run of the season. Solid all-around victory.
Dan Haren picks up his 12th win of the season. Francisco Liriano takes the loss. He is now 7-9. The Angels win it once again by the final of 7-1. We invite you to stick around as Angels Live, as Lindsay said, and Jose Mota is coming up next, and we might get a chance to talk with Mark Trumbo.